What is going on, my fellow wrestling fans? It is your boy Hollywood Steve back with another video. All right, in today's video, guys, Monday Night Raw review. Make sure before you guys do anything, make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys comment. Goal is to get to 500 subs, guys, and beyond that. But let's get to 500 subs, guys, and then we'll go beyond 500. Goal is 500,000 subscribers, guys. That's the big goal, and even further than that. But that aside, guys, let's dive right into Raw. So, the show opens with a recap of Saturday night's main event, focused on CM Punk winning the WWE Men's World Heavyweight Championship. CM Punk is shown walking through the crowd through Gorilla and out to make his entrance with all the camera behind him, documentary style. He gets on the mic and immediately gets "You deserve it" chants and says he's going to keep it short and sweet, and thanks his smart, very funny, intelligent, beautiful, tough, mean as she needs to be, wife that won't quit, AJ Lee for always thanks AJ Lee for always he thanks AJ Lee for always standing next to him in the bad times so they can stand together and enjoy the good times. Number two of all the fans. Some call it the WWE universe. To him, they're just CM Punk says to him they're just CM Punk fans, and he doesn't get here and to hold he doesn't get here and to hold this title above his head without each and every single one of them. The third person he says he'd like to thank is main event Jey Uso for the tough match that he'd fought, and he couldn't do without him, and truly appreciates him. And yeet. He'd like to think that they can still be friends going forward. But he won't cry about it because he came here to not to make friends, but to make money and win championships. And now he is that. What SummerSlam taught him is that he held this title for 3 minutes, and that wasn't long enough. So he knows he needs to hold on to the strap as tight as he can. And the good news is there is no snake in the grass like Seth Rollins waiting in the wings with that Money in the Bank briefcase. No. If we'd indulge him, he says, he'd ask a second for the windmill and windmills the belt around the way Seth had done often in his career, and tells him down the barrel of the camera that was for him, and he wishes him a speedy recovery. But if he comes back and gets in his business, he'll put him back on the couch. This is validation for 2 years he was king without a crown, and now the crown puts a target on him, front and back. And even Monday, and every Monday, if he doesn't get his boots if he doesn't get his boots on as tight as he can. But he's not who he says he is on any given day. He can lose the title. He knows there's already a line. Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed. He hears them saying they're coming for the gold. He wants to be a fighting champion for a multitude of reasons. Number one, there's lots of people he wants to punch in the face. What's left of the vision is 3 of them. He wants to test himself against the best this company has to offer. Guys like AJ Styles, who has earned the right to step up and get a title shot. Conversely, somebody who has 2 belts and hasn't earned or deserved a single one, he's a guy he wants to punch in the face. The locker room is full of killers like JD McDonough, Finn Balor. He's not hiding from anybody. Sheamus, does he deserve a banger? Well, Punk is your Huckleberry. And finally, his contemporary with only a few short dates, John Cena. He knows he doesn't have long, but he's not here for a long time. He's here for a good time. And if John wants to try for 18, he can come get some. And anybody who's earned it or deserves it, get in line because the champ is here. Logan Paul enters the ring. CM Punk does a theatrical job of showing his disappointment, boinking the mic against his forehead, saying he wants nothing to do with Logan. He'll take anybody but him. He thinks he thinks um he thinks blue is Paul's color. Go to SmackDown. Ilya Dragunov's open challenge is more his lane, and that's what he should do. Logan grabs the mic over Punk's Ray Romano-esque nose. Paul gets on the mic and says he's a 1,000 horsepower Ferrari that nobody in here can afford, and Punk is a used Honda Civic with upwards of 270,000 miles. Logan rattles off lists of men he's fought in WWE and tells the crowd they boo because they're mad. And he says if anyone in this industry has earned a title shot, everybody knows it's him. Enter Paul Heyman, followed by the chaos, or followed close behind by Big Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. He does his introductory shtick and says that he's going to walk all the way down to that ring, and says he doesn't see a king with a crown, but he sees a you know what with an owner, without an owner, and that's for you, Mister YouTube. Front of the line, front of the line, Paul's front of the line, Paul's blank. That belongs to the man that pinned Roman Reigns, the tribal thief Bronson Reed. He points out Punk is 430 days short of his reign with Heyman in his corner, and he says it's his move. CM Punk chants breakout. He tells Logan to get stepping, but he remains unmoved and says, "If you snooze, you lose." And he was fun, and he was here first. If they wanted to stop, if they wanted the spot, they should have put some pep in their step and got some hustle. Breaker gets on the mic and says the reality of it is that everybody got 2 weeks to live while they waited for a new champion to be crowned. But the dog isn't waiting anymore. He's coming for what is his, and there's nothing in his way but a man keeping his title warm and some you know what YouTuber who thinks he's tough. He tells them both to get out of his ring or get whipped like dogs. Punk tells Paul either he can fight with him or he can get the heck out of his ring. And Logan, of course, decides discretion is the better part of valor and tries to leave, only to find the Braun and Braun connection getting in his way. Breaker shoves him to the floor. The Vision stalk Punk in the ring. He throws the first punch but gets overwhelmed by the dang numbers game. Logan Paul waves him off and tries to leave, but keeps looking back like, "Uh-oh. I'm growing a conscience." And finally he runs back to the ring to make the save. The Brawns get the better of him and beat him down. A back body drop, a 747 splash. Punk returns to the ring, chair in hand, and runs the Vision off with it. Now we get the montage of the talent arriving at the arena. Stephanie Vaquer and Nikki Bella make their entrance and then we get an ad break. Coming out of the ad break, we get Judgment Day. The Judgment Day's Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez taking on Nikki Bella and Stephanie Vaquer. Bella and Perez start the match they feel each other out. They're feeling each other out to start the match. getting a feel for each other. Waist lock from Nikki. Fireman's carry takeover. Kneeling armbar to a wrist lock. Kip up escape, by Roxanne. But Roxanne gets taken right back down. Reversed. Bella with a monkey flip, and Perez falls right into a tag. Roxanne shoves Nikki down, back on her feet. Go behind. Raquel Rodriguez whips her hard into the corner and sets her up for alternating back elbows. Nikki gets away and tags Vaquer in. Rodriguez puts pats her on the head, and then clobbers her with a lariat, and she runs the ropes. Float over a vertical suplex. Super kick sends Raquel into the corner. Snap suplex, crescent kick. The match breaks down. Stephanie lands a back suplex on Roxanne, setting up Devil's Kiss, but Rodriguez saves her pal. Baby faces to the apron, hip bump into stereo planches. They hug, and another ad break. And then coming out of the ad break, Perez hits a springboard moonsault, but Bella kicks out. Overhead elbow to the back of Nikki's neck. Rodriguez tags in Bella and lands a tornado DDT for some breathing room. Tag to Vaquer off the ropes. Tilt-a-whirl right into a bridging folding press for two. Strike rush headbutt. Raquel sidesteps. Stephanie Vaquer ducks under a boot and hits a dragon screw in the corner. Corner knees up top, diving cross body cover for two. Underhooks blocked, tag to Perez, uppercut in the ropes. Vaquer lands a back suplex and the Devil's Kiss, tag to Bella. Rack Attack 2.0, Raquel Rodriguez breaks it up. Stephanie with a crossbody, Raquel catches her. A power bomb lift, but La Primera turns it into a slow motion Frankensteiner trying for the Devil's Kiss on the apron, but Raquel lands an electric chair facebuster into the apron. Bella with a Rana pin for two. Rodriguez with a cheap shot. Roxanne catches her. Judgment Day win via pinfall with Pop Rocks by Roxanne Perez on Nikki Bella. Then we got a video package explaining the tournament to decide who gets to wrestle John Cena in his retirement match, and we are informed that the draw is tonight. Or was the draw for the first four opponents was on Monday night. CM Punk runs into Jey Uso backstage. Uso says he's been all over the place and something's telling his heart to help him out. Punk asks if he can trust him, if he's talking like Jay or Little Roman. He says main event Jey Uso, and he knows people are gonna come after Punk's butt, and he wants to help him body the Vision problem tonight. Punk says he's gonna get his gear on. Yeet, and they fist bump. Penta makes his entrance and another ad break. Then we get El Grande Americano versus Penta. Feeling out process, Americano takes control with a vicious falling elbow to the back of Penta's neck. Getting him up top, clawing at his mask. On the mat, Penta catches a kick. Capture suplex only for a near fall. Running boot from Grande out to the apron. Penta wants a flip pile driver, but gets kicked to the floor, and Americano does the strut in front of him to the floor, and then another ad break. Coming out of that ad break, Penta hits a leg kick, a facebuster leg sweep in the corner, sets up the handstand double stomp, cover for 2. Americano comes back with a California roll, knuckle lock, lucha arm drag, countered, tree of woe, and Penta kicks him down. Cover for 2, forehead to forehead, mask to mask. A big chop gets a huge slap. They trade blows. Staggered, Americano ducks one, back suplex. Penta lands on his feet. Springboard tornado DDT. Grande hits the floor. Tope Congiro, Bravo, and Bravo. These are two guys from AAA. So Bravo and Rayo, the Americanos, as that is now apparently seems like that is El Grande Americano's faction, or Ludwig Kaiser, as he's also known. Bravo runs interference and trips Penta up on the apron, but referee Jessica Carr ejects him. Rayo passes Americano the plate to load his mask with. Penta ducks the head, but hits a lung blower. Rayo trips him up, and Carr ejects him too. Penta drops him with a plancha for good measure. Back inside the ring, counter to the flying headbutt and a super kick. Flip pile driver connects, and it is over. Penta wins with a flip pile driver. Post-match loss, Americanos attack, but Penta ducks and dodges and gets away scot-free. The Kabuki Warriors cut a promo on how last week was just a small fraction of their power and that Asuka is the true legend of the division. And they'll keep tearing the division apart until they get their tag title match. And further, Asuka hasn't forgotten about Bayley, and she should be glad she let her walk last week. But the kindness of the Empress will not last forever. And then coming back from the commercial break, Dominic Mysterio makes his entrance and gets on the mic. He says on Saturday he proved without a doubt he's the greatest WWE Men's Intercontinental Champion and the greatest Mega Campeon and the greatest luchador of all time, and there's no man on planet Earth that can stop him. Ray's music hits, and his father comes out, and his father and the one man on the planet who can definitely is the one man on the planet that can definitely stop him. He says Dominic wasn't expecting him, and every time he says he's the greatest luchador, he disrespects his family and his blood. What about El Santo, Blue Demon, Eddie Guerrero? And that gets a great big Eddie chant from the crowd. Ray asks if Dom thinks he's better than them, and Dom tells him to keep his father's name out of his mouth. So quick side note on what Dominic's referring to there. Back in the early 2000s, when the great Eddie Guerrero was still alive, there was a storyline between him and Ray for the custody of Dominic Mysterio. The custody papers were placed in a briefcase. They had a ladder match to determine who was going to get custody of Dominic Mysterio. And so that I think that's kind of cool how they've just kind of played this storyline. And Dominic says El Santo, better. Blue Demon, better. Eddie Guerrero, better than him too. But there's one luchador. He knows for a fact he's better than. And that's Rey Mysterio. Ray says he's not going to stand here and let him disrespect Lucha Libre. And Dominic asks, or what? And says he's jealous and already stole his mustache. Whoop his butt chants go up, and Dom says Ray is just here to cash in because Ray is just here to cash in because he made the Mysterio name relevant. And not only that, but he's already surpassed everything he's already done in every way, shape, and form. And what does he have to do? Kiss his butt again? Better listen to the king and get out of his ring. Ray is thoughtful for a moment before saying, okay, he's going to leave. But before he does, Dom needs to understand three things. As long as he's around, he'll never be the king of the luchadors. And as long as he's around, there will never be this will never be his ring. And as long as he's around, he'll never be the greatest Mysterio. Dominic throws a punch, but Ray blocks and throws his own punches. A leg kick gets the better of Dom. Gets the better of Dom. But Ray comes off the ropes with a Tejera to put him on the second rope. Ray connects with the 619 up top for the splash, but the younger Mysterio runs away. Lyra Valkyria is chanting. Gosh. Lyra Valkyria is chatting with Bayley backstage. Goodness gracious, guys, I can't talk today. Let's try that again. Rewind. Lyra Valkyria chats with Bayley backstage. Bayley says it's not about losing. It's about what happened after the Kabuki Warriors. Or it's about what happened after with the Kabuki Warriors. Lyra asks if it's the mind games, but Bayley wants to focus on the match. Valkyria says okay, as long as she can count on her. Bayley says she can, and they're good, and they do a little fancy handshake. Becky Lynch comes out through the crowd and stands on top of the announce desk, mic in hand. She says the man has come around and she's got a lot to get off her chest. She says she's been going through a lot the past few weeks. A hot husband stuck at home, the vision having ruined everything. She'd been saddled with a crooked referee bent on holding her down, and Adam Pearce sends her home to cool down. She's the definition of cool. She taunts the crowd that the only cool thing to come out of New Mexico is about how much they do, and Maxine Dupree isn't cool. But she's lucky because she got to step in the ring with her and live to tell about it. And now she won't shut up about it. She blames the fans for making Maxine feel like she belongs, and you need to be good more than lucky. She crows about being the greatest female wrestler of all time, and it's not just her saying it, it's Sports Illustrated and the Bleacher Report say it. She's a lifelong student of the game, and this isn't a test you can cram for. Train with the best of the best, and it won't make a difference because one wrong move, and it'll be the last opportunity of Dupree's career. Then we get the Kabuki Warriors enter as Becky leaves, and they have a moment on the stage before another ad break. Then we get Asuka and Lyra Valkyria taking on Asuka and Kairi Sane, the Kabuki Warriors. Asuka and Valkyria start collar and elbow wrist lock from the Empress. Lyra fights out waist lock, hammer lock, and Asuka reversed reversed arm wringer counter, mat slam, kicks to the spine, one to the midsection, a handful of Valkyria's hair, but she lands a slap on for separation. Rolling soul butts from Lyra. Whipped reverse to a cartwheel, leg sweep, and a drop kick cover for two. Tags made. Bayley hits Bayley with a schoolboy. Sane scrambles away before coming back with a boot, whip across, hang short in the ropes, fake out kick from the apron. Big Tejera sends the hugger flying, sending sliding lariat countered, crucifix pin for two, elbow from Kairi, chops in the corner, back body drop to the apron, off the top with a big elbow. Bailey kicks out. Tag to Lyra. Uh, Lyra works Sane over, bridging Northern Lights suplex for two. Suplex countered. Elbow from Sane and a blind tag. Double whip gets a double crossbody. Valkyria's fired up. Nobody seems nobody home on the wrecking ball dropkick, and Asuka German suplexes her on the floor before the Kabuki Warriors celebrate on the desk to to go to another to send us to another ad break. Back from the ad break, Bailey with a Lou Thesz press and mounted punches on Asuka middle rope stunner, knee tumbler or trembler, diving elbow drop. So close, Bailey to belly, still no. Back and forth. Lyra with a diving leg drop on Kairi, still not enough. Valkyria and Sane up top and jockeying for position. Kairi hits the Tree of Woe double stomp. Bailey breaks it up. Backbreaker and elbow combination from the baby faces. Asuka breaks it up. Lyra blasts her with a wrecking ball drop kick. Sane rolls Bailey up for a 2. Match breaks down. Asuka with a schoolboy for a 2. Valkyria springboards and gets caught in the Asuka lock. And the Kabuki Warriors take the win. Post-match champions Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair come to the ring to stare their presumptive challengers down. And then we get a recap of Sheamus beating the heck out of the ultimately losing to JD McDonagh last week. Raquel and Roxanne are celebrating in the Judgment Day clubhouse because Rodriguez has a title match next week against Stephanie Vaquer. Dominic Mysterio interrupts the celebration in a bad mood because his dad paid attention to him, complaining about the other fellas not being there for him tonight. And Finn Balor tells him if he wanted him there, he should have invited them instead of insisting on having the spotlight to himself. And now they have to go win their tag titles back. Balor gives him the shillelagh for safekeeping, and Dom is confused as to why they're upset. Raquel explains it's his fault they lost the tag titles. But Roxanne plays the voice of reason, or the voice of wisdom, and says somebody needs to give and make the first move. So he should go be in their corner and help them out tonight. And he reluctantly accepts their advice. Then we get Dragon Lee and AJ Styles, the tag team champions, taking on Judgment Day's Finn Balor and JD McDonagh. Judgment Day are hot out of the gates. Double whip puts Lee in the corner. McDonagh hits the Busaku knee. Nope. Quick tags in the corner, taking it to Dragon. Arabian Press moonsault gets JD another near fall. Lee gets away and gets the better of them, ducking Balor's suicide Frankensteiner on McDonagh. Back inside the ring, Finn with a drop kick for a quick near fall, passing him into the corner. Laying chops in snapmare to an elbow, reverse chinlock, and to grind him down off the ropes. Lee catches him, Liger bomb with both men, and both men are down and out. Dragon Lee crawls for the tag and he gets it. Styles rush lights Balor up. Sliding elbow, JD runs in and sets a huge back body drop. And eats a huge back body drop. Not sets, eats a huge back body drop. Corner lariat on Finn. Ushigoroshi sends him to the floor, and AJ hits a slingshot plancha on both guys to send us to break. Back from the commercial break, Dominic has made his way to ringside. Corner kick from Lee, slingshot kick. Balor is hurting, but he lands the sling blade shotgun drop kick off the top with a coup de grace. Nobody home. Small package from Lee, kick to the midsection, Operation Dragon, reverse to the inverted headlock elbow drop, tags made, Styles laying chops in on McDonough, baseball slide, sweeps Mysterio out, wipes Mysterio out, O'Connor roll, but Dominic distracted the referee. JD tries to hold him in place for a coup de grace, but rolls away and McDonough eats the stomp out of the apron, out to the apron, lining him up. Phenomenal form. Balor breaks it up with a stomp. Finn instructs Dragon to go for a belt shot on AJ, and Sheamus cuts him off. Sheamus up on the apron, referee distracted. Shillelagh to Styles' dome. Dragon Lee breaks it up. Sheamus chases after Dominic and throws him into the timekeeper's barricade with a knee. Lee hits a Tehera on Balor. Tope Gongiro. AJ staggered and stumbling. JD with a boot. Styles pulls him off the top. And AJ Styles and Dragon Lee win via pinfall, retaining their titles. And then we had Nikki Bella catching up with Stephanie Vaquer as she leaves the arena to apologize for the loss earlier on. Vaquer says Raquel Rodriguez doesn't know what's coming, and it's fine. But don't worry about it. Nikki says she came back and fought and thought she could hang, but she's so rusty and making mistakes and doesn't know why she's here. Stephanie reminds her that she's Nikki Bella and she's amazing, and she's one of the women who paved the way for the division. And they hug. Bella says she doesn't know how much she needed to hear that, and she knows she's going to crush it next week, and she'll be there to cheer her on. Then Paul Heyman's backstage chatting with Jey Uso. Heyman's confused as to why he'd team with the man he lost the title to. Uso says Punk faced him man to man, fair and square. Paul says that's not what Roman Reigns would. Jey cuts him off and says he doesn't care about anything but what Jey Uso would do. Heyman says he asked the Bronze to wait, but now the leashes are off, and if someone doesn't conform to the vision, they get smacked at the door. It's not like the old days with chance after chance. Now they get their butts handed to them at the door, and he likes that. He wishes Uso good luck tonight. And then another ad break, and coming out of that ad break, we get the draw for the tournament to determine John Cena's final opponent. The first two opening round matches next week are going to be Damian Priest versus Rusev and Sheamus versus Shinsuke Nakamura. And Adam Pearce says that Nick Aldis is going to draw the next two opening round matches on SmackDown. And Pearce wishes everyone good luck. Or the best of luck. Main event, Jey Uso makes his entrance. And then another ad break. Boy, Raw's been full of ad breaks. Man, my goodness. Reed and Uso start the match. Big Bronson takes him to the corner, hammering him. Whip across. Jey gets away and lands a few red hands. Arm wringer and a tag. Breaker tags in. Punk with a back elbow. Tag to Uso. Double kick or double back suplex and a double lariat sends him flying back. Tag teaming Reed with punches. CM Punk and Jey Uso tag team Reed with punches. Reed knocks CM Punk down, but gets a rising knee and a super kick for his trouble. That being Bronson Reed knocks CM Punk down and gets a rising knee and a super kick for his trouble. Both heels are on the floor. Uso jumps off the top ropes. Punk opens the door. Jay slides dives through the ropes. Punk opens the door, just kind of opens the ropes like this, and Jay flies through. And Jay dives on the Vision. And another ad break. Coming out of that break, the Vision are working Punk over. They hit a double splash cover and a cover for a 2. They get a whip across. They hit a whip across, back elbows, sending Punk spiraling. Breaker hits a rising knee. Punk creates an opening and crawls for the tag, but Reed blocks him. Reed and Breaker hit a shatter machine. Jey Uso breaks it up. Military press. Punk slips out. Swinging neck breaker connects and the path is clear. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. The tags are made. Uso brings it to Reed. Right hand, super kick, kneeling uppercut, super kick blocked, and he turns it into a leg feed enziguri. Another enziguri in the corner. Jay yeets. Ode to Rikishi. Death Valley driver denied. Jay hits a spear. Braun breaks it up. Punk cuts him off as the match breaks down. Plancha wipes Breaker out. Uso passes Bronson to the floor. Off the rope, suicide dive connects. Punk and Reed get into it as the referee counts. Braun comes over, and the match ends in a double countout draw. After the match, the brawl continues. Punk and Uso take Reed over to the announce desk, clear it, dump the steps, and the Prime Station over. They set Bronson on the desk. CM Punk tells Jay to go up top, and Braun Breaker comes screaming around the corner to spear him out of his boots. Punk comes over and Bronson freight trains him into the Timekeeper's barricade. The Vision have Jey Uso in the ring all alone. Braun with a head of steam and a spear 747 splash puts him out, but Punk's back in with a steel chair. Logan Paul makes the save. He's got the brass knuckles and turns and wallops CM Punk with a loaded punch. Paul Heyman gets in the ring and takes point from the Vision with Logan. Paul looks him in the eyes and takes the knucks off and gives them to Heyman as you know what Logan chants, rain down. And Logan does a, well, I'm here kind of shrug, and an evil grin spreads across, and then Heyman gets that evil grin that he's so known for. And that is Monday Night Raw. Now, that, like I said, I have been so bad at watching Monday Night Raw and giving you guys my review of Monday Night Raw. I've been so bad at that. But I know I need to start giving you guys my review, my own personal review, my own personal thoughts on it. So that's what I'm going to do going forward. That's what I'm going to do. But I found that review on Cage Side Seats. So it looks like we're setting up for, at least I think, this is just me thinking here. Looks like we're setting up for the Vision with Logan Paul, maybe taking on Jey Uso, CM Punk, and I don't know, some other guys that they're gonna put together. Roman Reigns, maybe. Who knows? Looks like that might. It looks like that could be our men's War Games match for Survivor Series in a few weeks. And it looks like that we are setting up for. I love this. We are setting up for Ray versus Dom. Now, I said this to my son and I were talking yesterday or the day before about it, and I said it needs to be for the AAA Mega Championship because that is the only title that Ray has not won. Ray has never won the AAA Mega Championship, and I think it would be the coolest thing ever if the AAA Mega Championship was defended on on a WWE PLE. I think that'd be the coolest thing ever. And for Ray to win it off of Dom, that would be even sweeter. And you just start building you kind of start building to Dom losing his titles and kind of questioning like maybe questioning his actions a little bit and his attitude toward his dad and things like that. So that might be something that they look at. I would I would love that. I would love to see Ray and Dom go 1-on-1 for that AAA Mega Championship at Survivor Series. But that was Monday Night Raw, guys. It was exciting. It seemed like Monday Night Raw was a very exciting episode. I look forward to watching the next one. I look forward to watching this upcoming Monday's episode of Monday Night Raw. I look forward to what I am going to make it a point to watch SmackDown over the weekend. Um, and we will see what happens on SmackDown, who the next two challengers are going to be in the John Cena Last Time Is Now tournament. But for right now, guys, let me know what you guys thought of Monday Night Raw. Let me know what you guys think of Survivor Series, how you guys think it's going to shape up, what you guys think is going to be the Survivor Series War Games men's match and the women's match. What you guys think about that, and if you guys want to see Dom take on his dad, Rey Mysterio, for the AAA Mega Championship. And if you want to see Ray win and beat Dom, let me know. I know that's what I personally want to see. I will catch you guys in the next one. This is your boy, Hollywood Steve, saying, when you're Hollywood Steve, it's for life.